All right, so I decided this year I want to attempt making a proper gingerbread house, like not graham cracker, bake the cookie, assemble it, to try to make it look somewhat well put together, sort of bake off style is how I'm describing it. A bake off showstopper gingerbread house is the goal. I'm going into this with medium hopes because I have not done anything like it before. All previous gingerbread houses have just been graham cracker construction or built around a cake, which is delicious if you're looking for a little life hack. But I'm going to go for like proper gingerbread, baking assembly, do some math to make it construct properly. So, medium hopes are because it's a new attempt and also because I'm not great at decorating things. And I've got my doughs picked out, the recipes I'm going to do a classic gingerbread for the roof. And since I don't actually like plain gingerbread that much, I want to do a peppermint shortbread for like the sides of the house. I think it'll be good to have some contrast in color so that I don't need to somehow make that contrast with decorating. At least I hope it looks good that way. And then also it'll have some variety of flavor. I don't have a ton in the way of decorations because I didn't want to just load up on candies I wouldn't eat. And I didn't know how many I'd need. So, gonna try to be a little sparing in that department, as in, I'm not gonna like line it with gumdrops and all that. Um, Today, the night before, I'm gonna try to sort of map out what shapes I'm gonna need of cookies, map out what it'll look like construction wise, the blueprint, and then I will try to do some calculations for what size cookies I'll need and decide how big I want to make it and all that. So, thrilling stuff, but I'll show you the design at the end when I'm done. It's just going to be me writing for a bit. So, stay tuned. Okay. We have a drawing. It's pretty silly looking, but it's going to serve its purpose. I'm going true basic classic house. Oh god, the perspective looks bad, but that's okay. And then I think the big part will be the chimney, getting that correct, because it'll need to be in the right angle and all that to set on top. But also, if it doesn't work, I can just not put it on there, and it can be a chimneyless house, and Santa won't come, but I won't have a meltdown, so it'll be a win. So I'm keeping it basic, like I said. Now I just need to figure out how big I'm going to make it. Another great page in this sketchbook, but I've mapped out what each shape will need to be. Lots of just rectangles, which is good, I guess. I did use some math. I used the Pythagorean theorem, believe it or not. In the corner there, you can see great use of the Pythagorean theorem. Thank you, Pythagoras. I thought for a second I was going to have to do, because it's the whole a squared plus b squared equals c squared thing. And so I had originally said I'm going to do like 4 by 4 on the one side of the triangle. So that meant that the roof was going to have to be root 32. And then I was thinking, okay, I don't know how to do root 32 on a ruler. But then I realized, sorry, it would have to be root 32 inches. And I was like, I'm not going to try to do that. But then I realized there should be overhang on the roof. So I rounded up. So it's going to be 6 inches on the roof. So it'll hang over, which is good. That'll look nice. That's a gingerbread house. So we're good. The math helped, I guess. So we're going to wing that a little bit, but that's okay. You got to do a little winging. Otherwise, it's no fun. So yeah, I'm feeling confident. This will be good. I'm as confident as I could be going into it. It wasn't as much as I thought. I somehow thought this was going to take longer or be more elaborate, and I guess it could be if I tried to do something more elaborate, but we're keeping it simple. I'm a first timer, just going for a classic, cute little house. We will see what happens tomorrow. You're along for the ride. I'm gonna be getting started on the gingerbread house today. I'm getting a bit of a later start than I anticipated, but that's okay. It may bleed into tomorrow in terms of assembly and decoration, but that's okay. When I filmed my state fair baking video, I had way too much video content to edit afterwards because I time-lapsed every baking thing I did. So I'm probably not going to time-lapse myself just making the dough and stuff, and I'm going to film when it gets to the exciting stuff, like cutting shapes and assembly and all that. So here we go. Okay, I have not done the greatest job of filming my progress, but I now have all of the cookies cut and baked. It was kind of just pretty boring yesterday, so I didn't film every step. I have already made a mistake. I made the sides of the house too big, too tall, as compared to the front sides of the house. I was pulling some audibles yesterday in terms of the sizing, just with like how much dough I had. And then I pulled an audible on the front halves that I did not carry over to the sides of the house. So we're gonna have to do some trimming and get creative, but I'm hopeful it'll still work. So the next step is to make some royal icing that will be the glue to hold it together, and then I'm gonna assemble and I'll film that because that'll be more exciting. Okay, we're relocating in the hopes that this will be a better angle for construction. So you're not just looking at my back the whole time. Royal icing is ready. I've never made royal icing before, but it's supposed to be shiny, which this is, and it's sort of just supposed to be the glue, and it has sort of a glue-like texture. So I can see myself piping it on there to make it stick, and that's what I'm going off of to say it's done. So I'm gonna get this into a bag and then get all my components here and start assembly. Okay. I've got the pan I'm gonna assemble it on. I've got various pieces, and I think it's just time to go for it. I'm probably gonna time lapse this bit because it's gonna take a while. Okay, things are off to a rough start. The sides, I tried to trim them because they were too tall, and then they broke a bunch in places I wasn't even cutting them. So I've tried to cement them back together with my royal icing, and we'll see how that goes. So they're in the fridge, hopefully gonna set faster that way. So in the meantime, I'll try and just do the chimney, because I can't really do anything about the sides at this point. So I've got my chimney pieces. They look okay. They're thicker. So hopefully this works. Okay. All right. Chimney looks like it's gonna hold together, maybe? At least, hopefully, sort of. I mean, it's not falling apart. It's not falling apart. So that's a win, I think, so far in this book, because unfortunately, that's the standard. Maybe I should have just made the whole thing gingerbread. I'm starting to think this shortbread was too flimsy. It's gotten awfully crumbly. It is tasty, but crumbly. So all else fails, I'll eat the crumbs, you know? So it's constructed, it's up, it's standing. It was a little dicey there. But the sides weren't going to stay together just on their own, so I attached the broken bit to this half and the broken bit to this half and got it to stand. I don't know if I've used enough royal icing. Seems like maybe I should have used more, but it's kind of hard to pipe out and get on there. And then I realized I didn't put any royal icing on the bottom of any of these pieces to make them stick, so then this started leaning a bit, so I have added that now. I'm gonna wait and let this like set a bit more before I attempt the roof, because now I'm thinking the roof is pretty heavy in comparison to the shortbread base, which was another misstep on my part, but it's fine. If all else fails, I was thinking this could be a bombed out church from World War II, which would be sad, but I could say it's something. It has stayed up, which is good, and the royal icing is feeling dry now, so I think I've just got to go for it with this roof situation and see what happens. So here we go. Okay, not great. We've got a clear front side and back side though, which I'm gonna count as a win. Unfortunately, there is a hole in the roof, so whoever's living in here is not gonna be having a great time. But that's okay. I'll bring you closer here to take a look. Okay, so we've got, this is the front, and you know, it looks okay. If you look at it directly head on, everything's in place. Now we fly above, we soar, whoo! Oh no, yep, there's a hole in the roof. Things just weren't lining up. This side was sort of, falling down a bit, just didn't really have, like, if it was going to line up on this side, it wasn't going to line up on this side. So there's a lot of royal icing in there that I'm going to hope acts like real cement and just fills in the gap. And then of course it didn't line up at the top. This side fit together better, but didn't really have, I was sort of sliding, so I've added these little, you know, the broken bits of cookie are paying off. They're holding it up while it sets. So I also realized I made the mistake. This was supposed to be the front one because I etched in a door, but this is clearly going to be the back now. I'm just going to hope no one sees that ever. So we're going to go and just focus on the front. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to let it set for a while now. Okay. I think I'm gonna be done. It looks bad, but also my hands really hurt from piping on that rooftop stuff. This royal icing does not come out easy, and my grip strength is clearly lacking. It I'm kind of glad I didn't go all in and buy a bunch of decorating materials because I don't even know how I'd use them on something like this. As you can see, this I felt like I should do something to the roof. This side is okay, and then this side is where my hand really started to hurt. I promise, I am sober. This just looks really bad because my hands hurt and I was getting really tired of it. These sprinkles are supposed to be like little lights. Like they've lined their rooftop with lights. It's even on the edges. I tried to get some on the windows with less success. Um, so I think what I'm gonna do is dust this thing with powdered sugar and call it a day. Um, so this was not my finest hour. I think. Well, hours. It's been a long. It's well. I guess it's been 2 days though, so not my finest 2 days here in the baking department. But I think it'll taste good, which not many do, and that's okay. We're calling it.